Hello, third graders. It's Mrs. Halverson again, here to talk to you again about number patterns. I know that we did number patterns in our last lesson, but today we're going to review them and figure out how we can find missing numbers in number patterns. So, the first strategy that I want to share with you is the one that I use. So, if we're looking at this number pattern up here, we're going 3,602. 3,702, we need to find this number, and then we have 3,902. Now, what I look for here first, scholars, is to see which number is changing. I can see that the threes are staying the same, the 3,000s. But the hundreds place digit is changing. We're going from 602, 3,702, 3,902. So what's happening to these numbers? Are they getting bigger or are they getting smaller? That's right, they're getting bigger. So we go 3,602, 3,702, 3,802, then 3,902. Now let's read the pattern all the way across to make sure that we're correct. 3,602, 3,702, 3,802, 3,902. That sounds correct to me, scholars. Okay, now let's go to our second number pattern. Now this one is a tad trickier for a few reasons. Let's check it out. Okay, so we're going to use the same strategy. We're going to see which digit is changing, okay? So I have a 4,000 here, 4,000 here, 4,000 here. So it is not the thousands place that she's changing. 300 here, a 300 here, and a 200 here. That makes me confused. Because here I'm seeing a change from a 300 to a 200. But over here, the 300 was staying the same. What could be happening? I'll put a squiggly line under these two just to make sure that we don't forget. But I think something's fishy here. Okay, let's see. The 20, 0, 9. The tens place is definitely changing. How come? If we notice that the 10th place is always changing, we see that the ones are the same. So it has to be the 10th place, right? Why would this hundreds change? Pause your device and think about it a little bit. Why would this hundreds change if really we're just going down by 10? Okay, I hope you had some time to think about it. Now let's look at what's happening here. Okay, so are the numbers getting smaller? They get smaller at first, right? And then they get bigger again. But hang on. This 200 is smaller than this 300. So that means that this number is greater than this number. Okay? So if we're seeing that we're going down. So here we have 4,313. 4,303. Now, how we find this next number isn't so tricky after all. If you have a 0 here, can we take 10 more from that place? No, we're going to have to go where? To the hundreds, that's right. So if we take 4,303 minus 10, 3 minus 0 is 3, 0 minus 1 can't do it. We turn this into a 2, this becomes a 9. Awesome. So this number here is 10 less than this number here. But since we had no tens to take away, we had to go to the hundreds and change this 100 to a 2. Okay? So that one is a little bit trickier. Now, this one, same thing here, right? Let's look for the number that's changing. But we see from here to here, there are two numbers changing, aren't there? The 5,000 is changing to a 4,000, and the 0 is changing to a 9. So do we think it's going down by 1,000 or 100? Let's look. So we have 5,000, 4,000, 4,000. So it didn't go down by a full 1,000 here, or 2,000 rather, because we're missing this guy here. So it can't be the thousands place. Let's take a look at the hundreds place. A 0. Oh, that's right. We can't take 100 away from 0 because there are no hundreds in this place. So if we're going to subtract 100 from this number, 2 minus 0 is 2, 6 minus 0 is 6, 0 minus 1, can't do it, we go to the 4. 10 minus 1 is 9, 4 minus nothing is 4, good. So this number is 100 less than this number. So we are looking at the hundreds place. Okay, so what is in between 4,962 and 4,762? 9 blank 7. We're going down by 100. So the only thing we need to change is this. That's right, 4,862. Very good. Okay, scholars, now is the time that I'm really going to try to trick you. I'm going to give you two number patterns. One's going to be pretty simple. The other one is going to be kind of tricky. So you do your best to solve them on your own, and then we'll go over them. Okay? Here we go. Wait, let's go all the way over here. Sorry, scholars. 3,544. 3,000. Okay. That's your first one. You can start working on that while I'm thinking of your second one that I'm going to try to trick you with. So this one says 3,544, 3,534, blank, 3,514. Okay, so be thinking, which number is changing? All right, scholars, I hope that was enough time for you to be working on this first one. Okay, so we have 3,544, 3,534, blank, 3,514. So if you use my strategy, you look for which digit is changing. The thousands place is not changing. The hundreds place is not changing. The tens place is changing. Now, are these numbers getting smaller or bigger? smaller. That's right. So we go from 44, 34 to 24. Okay, if you got that as your answer, if you got 3,524, give yourself a pat on the back. If you did not get that as your answer, still give yourself a pat on the back for trying. Okay, now we have 4,099, 3,099. Oops, Mrs. Halverson. Made a mistake. It happens. Okay, pretend that didn't happen. 4,099, 3,099. What goes here? 1,099. We can all see right away it's the thousands place that's changing. And it's getting smaller by each number, right? So here we have 2,099. Okay, let's look at this last one. This one, I'm going to have you pause your device and do on your own. 503, blank. 483, 473, 463. Now, this is kind of tricky because on our first two numbers, we see that they're changing. But are they going down by a full 100? No, so let's investigate. Let's look at these three numbers. What are they changing by? Are they going up or down? Okay, now what number is that? Go ahead, pause your device. Okay, welcome back, scholars. I hope that you all paused your devices and figured this out on your own. Clearly we can see 80, 70, 60. It's going down by 10. So if we want to find this number, there's a few ways that we can do it. Because we have so many numbers here and they're going down, if we go this way, we know that they're going up. 63, 73, 83, 93. Another way to do it would be, since we've saw the pattern over here that they were going down by 10, we could just subtract 10 from 503. 3 minus 0 is 3. 10 minus 1 is 9. Drop the 4. 493. Awesome job if you got that right. Awesome job if you got that wrong too, because you're still trying, you're still learning. Okay, this next thing that we're going to try, oh, I think we've really gotten this number pattern thing out of the way. I think we've got it. If you're having trouble, make sure to visit your math teacher at their office hours and they can go over it with you again. So if you're in my math class, I will help you. If you're in Mr. Malong's class, he will help you. Miss Tanner will help you if you are in her class, okay? So make sure that if you're still a little bit confused, then you go and see one of us, okay? So on the homework, we're still doing number patterns, but it looks a little bit different. There's a lot of sentences on today's homework, which usually mathematicians are like, I would prefer numbers. But I think that these sentences are okay, okay? So the first kind of sentence that you're going to see today on your homework is something like this. 1,000 more than I'm gonna need some more room here. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. 1,000 more than 2,964 is blank. Okay, that's one kind of sentence that we're gonna run into today on the homework. Blank is 1,000 more than another sentence that we're going to run into today on our homework. Blank is 1,000 more than blank. Okay, let's see. And then a third, let's see, 100 more than is blank. Okay, so let's look at these. The tricky part here is that when we start mixing English with math, sometimes our minds get a little bit muddled. So we're going to read these questions out loud, and then we're going to read them again out loud after we answer them to make sure that they make sense. Okay, so 1,000 more than 2,964 is blank. Now, tell me, scholars, is the number in a blank going to be more than this or less than this? More than, absolutely, it tells us right there. So all we have to do is add 1,000 to this number to get our answer. So our answer is 3,964. Okay, now the homework's trying to trick you here on the next one, right? Maybe not. Maybe it's just the same. Okay, blank is 1,000 more than 3,422. Let's underline the more than. So we're looking for the number that comes first. What is 1,000 more than 3,422? That's right, 4,422. Okay. Let's read this together to make sure it makes sense, starting with number 1. 1,000 more than 2,964 is 3,964. That makes sense. Okay, number 2. 4,422 is 1,000 more than 3,422. That makes sense too, right? Okay, let's look at this. 100 more than 2,462 is, again, we would just add 100. So it would be 2,562. Let's read it to make sure it makes sense. 100 more than 2,462 is 2,562. Excellent. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you 3 to do on your own, and we'll go over it. Okay, our first problem that you are going to try on your own is 1,242 is 10 less than what? 3,425 is 100 more than what? Blank is 100 less than 398. Go ahead, pause your device. Okay, welcome back, scholars. I hope that you noticed that even though in the last 3 we had more than, now we have 1 less than, 2 less than. Okay, 1,242 is 10 less than blank. So is this number going to be less than this number or more than? Good, this number is less than. It tells us right there. So we subtract 10 from this number, it'd be 1,232. All right, number 2 says 3,425 is 100 more than blank. So since it says more than, this number we write in is going to be smaller, right? 3,325. Blank is 100 less than 398. So is this number going to be less than this number or more? Less, it says right there. So here, 298 is 100 less than 398. All right, so that's all that there is for your math mini lesson today. It's a lot to think about, number patterns. All of this is going to really help on the quiz that you take tomorrow. Okay, have an awesome afternoon, and I'll see you later.